Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Basketball Enthusiasts. We missed you guys. All right, so today we're going to talk about the Western Conference Championships and the latest. So we know we had Mavericks and Golden State and Celtics and Heat. So, basketball enthusiasts, you can start.
Mm, yeah, it was. I expected the Warriors to beat the Mavericks. I wasn't really surprised by that. It was basically Luka was by himself, and he didn't have another player to really help him out consistently. So I was surprised by the Warriors beating them in five. Now. Now in the offseason, Dallas has some. They have a lot of moves they have to do. One of the things they have to do is they have to just like the Charlotte Hornets, who even though they didn't make the playoffs, um, both the Mavericks and the Hornets they have to improve the center position. They need to look at guys like from the Rockets, Christian Wood. Miles Turner on the Indiana Pacers, who's a good shot blocker, and he's a pretty good three-point shooter for a big man. But he's a really good shot blocker and defender for a big man. And there's a small chance, a possibility that either one of those teams, the Mavericks or the Hornets, might have a lot of interest in DeAndre Ayton. So that's another guy. And in case of the Mavericks, Luka needs another star. Maybe a guy like Zach LaVine could fit next to him if possible, or maybe somebody like Bradley Beal who's a good catch and shoot type of guy. Those type of players I think can fit next to him, or maybe somebody like Donovan Mitchell, if possible, could fit next to Luka if the Jazz were to rebuild or they want to move off of Donovan Mitchell. When it comes to the Boston Celtics, them beating the Miami Heat, it was a tough series. I expected it to go 6. Only people who in their mind thought that only people who I believe, like I said, I call them casual fans, who thought the Celtics were basically the equivalent of the 2018 Golden State Warriors were going to sweep the Miami Heat, which they were not. I thought both teams were evenly matched. Just the Celtics were better offensively. That was the only edge I thought the Celtics had over the Miami Heat. They were healthier. That's another thing to take into account. But overall, looking at the teams and looking at the talent, I was thinking they were evenly matched. Just Boston shoots the ball better, and they have a better offense as a team. The Heat, they struggle to score outside of Jimmy Butler, so that was going to be a problem. Well, that was going to be an issue for them, and it ended up being an issue for them in the last game, which was last night. Jimmy Butler, obviously, he played amazing last night. Jimmy Butler, he should, shed the narrative that he's not a star. Jimmy Butler definitely is a star player in the NBA. And the thing about stars is, people have to remember come in different shapes and sizes. Not every single NBA star is the late great Kobe Bryant or LeBron James or Stephen Curry. They're different types of stars, or Giannis or Kevin Durant. They're different types of stars. So Jimmy Butler to me is definitely a star. The Heat are a team also that could use somebody like Zach LaVine or Bradley Beal if they were to clear cap space for one of those guys, because either one of those guys can give you 25 to 30 points on any given night, which would lessen the load on Jimmy Butler in Miami having to score so many points. The Heat, their problem was in defense because they were a really good defensive team. They needed some guy. They needed a guy like I said, like a Zach LaVine who could shoot. Another issue for Miami to address in the offseason is they need some size. They need another big they need another center with some size to him for when they have to face Joel Embiid, because next year I think Joel Embiid is going to be healthy in the playoffs. So Bam cannot guard him. Can't guard him at all. I don't think. Maybe like for a small stretch, but he's going to struggle because Embiid is so much bigger and stronger. So that's how I was thinking the Heat need in the offseason, look for a guy with some size who can help them out. But another thing with the Heat also is they need consistency from Bam. Bam can't give them 6 points one night and then 15 another night or 20 another night. Like he has to work on being more consistent. I know he's young. I believe he's only 23, 24 years old, but that's the next step for him. He has to work on being consistent.
Okay, so now looking forward, what do you think? Who do you think will actually win it in the finals? Boston or Golden State?
I'm not sure when it comes to those two teams, but I think it's going to be a really interesting series. It's going to be coach against coach. Steve Kerr versus Ime. Both guys, by the way, for some people who don't know or may have forgotten, both guys have learned from the great Hall of Fame coach Greg Popovich. So somewhere he's probably a proud man. He's probably thinking he taught both of those coaches well.
Yeah.
But Ime Udoka, like I had said when he first got hired, I had put some Celtic fans can, if they're watching, they can check the comments. I put it underneath the video of his press conference, and I said I had a really good feeling that he's going to be a really good coach for them. And I turned out to be right, as he's led them to the NBA Finals. Now, his next challenge, though, is going to be how to figure out how to guard Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole has surprised me and a lot of people. He has turned himself into a star, and it's rare for guys to be drafted 13th, and because Jordan Poole, for some people, was in a draft class that included Zion Williamson and Ja Morant. So he was taken 13th, which is very low, which means nobody really expected anything from him. So shout out and credit to Jordan Poole for working hard on his game, going to the G League, and developing his three-point shot and his ball handling. So Jordan Poole in the offseason after the finals he's going to get himself a nice contract from the Warriors, which will be very well deserved. Another thing I want to say about the Warriors is their defense at times struggles. So I think that's going to be interesting to watch. How do they guard Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, because their defense at times struggles. Now, some people are going to say, oh, well, they did beat Luka and the Mavs, but I mean, Luka was basically a one-man team. This Celtic team is going to be their best challenge defensively, because when Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are on, meaning their shots and meaning they're knocking down their shots, they're nearly impossible to guard. So that's going to be, and on the other side, if you're Boston, that's going to be their biggest challenge too, being able to guard a team like the Warriors that shoot the ball as well as they do. So I think it's going to be an interesting matchup, to say the least. If I had to say, I believe the series, if both teams are healthy, is going to go 6 or 7 games. I think it's going to be a really interesting finals matchup for people who are really into offense. I think they're really going to like watching these games.
All right, so there you hear it from basketball enthusiasts. We just hope that you guys are enjoying your day, and hope that you continue to enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, please like and subscribe to the channel. Okay, have a great day.
All right, guys, we're out.